You know, I just want life to get better. I mean, for years, I've been seeing all the crazy, long time, I mean, very long time. I started researching like the conspiracy theory type topics and stuff all the way back when I was like 11 and like 95, basically. So, uh, there's that stuff, has been going on. Then, obviously, 2020 came around and the world got really crazy, and that's freaky with all the COVID nonsense and everything. Oh, shoot, I used a word I shouldn't have used. Anyways, with all that stuff that went on, and my grandma died, and my mom died. It'll be a year ago tomorrow, the day that she got taken off to the hospital in an ambulance. And about a month later, the day that she died, exactly. And, I ended up with some inheritance basically, and hell, I started out late June. A decent amount, I thought, should have been enough to. I mean, if I could go back in time with that, I would be living freaking like. This rent is so damn expensive now, and housing is so hard to come by. And there's so many rules and this check and that check, and you can't hardly find, I mean, the internet's basically gone, it's just some representation of the internet that exists now. It's nothing like the real internet that used to exist. It's like a layer of firewalls between you and the freaking outside world from between you and people. I mean, it's supposed to connect people, but it's done the exact opposite, I mean, people, at least back in the old days, you could get on, you could open up find out all kinds of postings in Telencell. There was the nickel ads or other things like that, and people would talk to you, talk on the phone and things like that, have real conversations in person, and so on and so forth. And if the social media that did exist, was back in the earlier days, you just get on there, talk to people, would actually have long conversations with each other, full sentences, paragraphs, even pages, There were chat rooms and stuff. You could just talk to people like local or wherever. Have conversations, exchange phone number. If you wanted to find a place to rent or buy or whatever, there were just for sale signs everywhere, and ads posted on, flyers posted places, and ads in the news, lots of ads in the newspapers, Telencell, nickel ads, And nowadays these websites, man, control everything, and you can't find the stuff that's actually affordable. I know it's out there, it exists. I know it does still exist to some extent. I think a person could still find maybe like a $5,000 mobile home that's already sitting in a mobile home park somewhere with a cheap lot fee. If you really, but it's like you gotta really get lucky. It's like trying to track down a freaking leprechaun and a Bigfoot riding on a unicorn. But I mean, I know it's out there. I always hear like rumors and whispers of such things, and then try to get a hold of anyone. Nope, can't get a hold of anyone. Shit, I want to live, man. I just want life to get better. The freaking world is going crazy. Like, really, really, really freaking crazy. And I don't know how people can stand it. I mean, I guess a lot of people are on pharmaceutical drugs to keep them numbed out, and they just kind of got used to a routine, and they don't think about a lot of things that are going on in the world. They don't really know about a lot of things that are going on in the world like I do. They probably just turn on the television and pick up a newspaper and go, "Oh, look, honey, the Chinese are flying over in a balloon. Oh, look, if we vote for this guy, it'll fix it." Oh, look, the ball game's on. I never put two and two together. I just realized kind of how screwed up it is with the freaking Super Bowl happening the day that my mom got taken off to the hospital. Was that the same day last year? I didn't even realize, I guess. If it was. I was a little distracted by something, right? Well, I don't follow that stuff that much. You'd think I would have known about it. Maybe I just forgot about it. If it was. Anyhow. Yeah, everything's just crazy. Everything's too expensive. It's ridiculous, man. I mean, like, imagine, like, if I could just, Doc Brown shows up in a DeLorean, or we could just, bippity boppity boop, and my freaking car becomes a time machine or something, right? Well, the only problem with that, well, hey, if we're talking about something that I can't do anyways, you might as well say that it's magic. I could magically not only go back in time, but convert all the money and resources that I have into the pastime version of it. Like my car, if I go back to say the 70s, turns into a 70s model of the car or something, right? Or the money transfers into a 70s bank account. I go back and I have a 70s ID or something, all that kind of stuff, right? And you have to think about stuff like that if you're traveling in time. Try pulling out some freaking 2013 $100 bills to pay somebody with. They're gonna be like, "The hell kind of funny money is this?" Yeah. 2020 or something. They're like, "What?" Quarter with a bat on it or something. Yeah, that wouldn't be very useful in the past. And just like you can't, I mean, you'd have to, like, I don't know. Because if you were to buy like silver and gold or something, then you go back in time, it'd be fucking, you just lose a huge because that's inflated so much, the currency inflated so much, that would be worth way less back then, way, way less. So it wouldn't be like you were taking your money back with you, it'd be like you were equaling to the level of inflation. Screw that. Anyways, I mean, if I could go, like, I mean, they're selling things now. Back then, man, you could buy a house that today would be like a $500,000 house. You could, with some, acres of land and stuff, you could buy that back then for like, what, 5, 10, 15 grand, 20, 25 grand, depending on the place. You could certainly go back and get a freaking mobile home for 5 grand, like fairly new one, with like half an acre, an acre or two or something of land probably for really freaking cheap back then, and everything else was ridiculously cheap too, basically compared to now. Plus, I mean, if you had the time machine, why not try the Biff strategy sort of deal, you know? Bring a, you know, have a couple of stock tips, maybe. Sports almanac. Right? Why the Remember to buy Bitcoin and Google and so on and so forth. Facebook. Yeah. Stock. Yeah, if you knew things beforehand, shit. But no, I mean, you could go back. Okay, there was a time when I had like close about $50,000, and I couldn't find jack squat. Not fast enough. See things and they'd sell right away, or can't even get a hold of somebody, get anyone to answer any questions. Or they're just so far away that you'd have to go like travel halfway across the country or more to even look at the shit, you know. Fuck, back in the even 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you could go back with that much money and fucking buy a pretty decent place and have a fair amount of money left over. Buy something. I mean, obviously, the further forward in the future you go, the less you can get, but shit, in like the 80s around here, I think you could rent like a house. I mean, a house for like $50 a month. Not an apartment, a house. Now there's like little things that aren't even really apartments, they're calling apartments, and they're trying to get like $1,200 a month or more out of you. Some shit half the time. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't know. And at the same time, the whole freaking world's going batshit, you know? It's like a fucking circus clown show or something. Every day it's just craziness. It's not funny. It's not cute, not ha funny clowns. More like creepy, you know? Just everything's getting dark and twisted and fucked up. Crazy. It's like living in freaking zombie apocalypse. You gotta like wave to the zombies and smile and be nice to them and shit. While they, yeah. Oh God. I'm not saying everyone is, but there's fucking fair number. Things are, and then you have to deal with all the bullshit and the expenses and the demands on your time and your money and your life, and do this, do that, jump through this hoop, jump through that hoop, or, you know, everyone's a little fucking dictator in their own little micro kingdom and shit in their mind. It's fucking crazy. Hate this fucking shit, man. I gotta think that the people who talk about, I don't know, voluntarism, and problem being the belief in authority. I gotta think that's got a lot of validity there. I mean, of course, that's part of the problem. Another, one of the biggest problems we have in the world right now can be summed up in one word: usury. Usury. You can look that up in the Bible or the Quran or any number of other things, and see what they say about it. It's that's pretty much how the world is run. Usury. And that's a big problem for people, except for the ones who are getting rich off of it, powerful off of it, while the rest of the people suffer. And the internet has, while claiming to bring people together, has pushed us further apart into our own little fucking kind of fake worlds, virtual worlds already. You don't have to go into virtual reality to be in a virtual world. If you're living in a modern day, you're already living, unless you have a bunch of like old friends that you're close to and a hangout person and things like that. If you're somebody who doesn't have a big circle of people around you and stuff, that doesn't hang out with people no place anymore, basically you're already in a fucking virtual world. You just I won't even get into the whole simulation argument right now. That's a whole other thing, I'm just saying, like, inside the Matrix here, we're also inside like another virtual world inside of that, which is the internet, that's divided us from one another and divided communities from each other and divided people against people and nation against nation and gender against gender and political stance and views on this, that, and the other thing against everything. They've used all these every little difference between people. This guy, he's, oh, you're short, you're tall, you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're this, you're that. Frickin', then you've got to hate these other people because they're different from you, and you've got to blame, this group's got to blame that group, and that group's got to blame this group, and this group, blame everybody except for the fucking guy behind the curtain pulling the strings, man. Blame everyone except for the people who control the monetary supply, who control where you're able to live and where you're able to and what you're able to afford. Blame everyone except for the people who are keeping you in essentially indentured servitude. Don't blame those people. No. Blame each other. Point your fingers at your neighbors and your family members and your friends and everything else. Everyone that goes along with it, of course, but whatever you do. And and of course the face man, the politician, the actor that's pretending to be a leader, that's there to take your scorn and blame away from the people who really control things. Distract you from what the hell's really going on, so you never know what's going on. And you go, oh, it's that guy's fault. No, it's that guy's fault. Everybody's pointing at each other while the bad guys are sitting back looking on with a big smirk on their face. Setting everybody against each other. Man, they're like, people are the pawns, man, and these dudes, upper echelons, man, they are the chess masters or whatever. But I'm just talking about on like a physical level here, on and even though that may be totally fictitious here and maybe actually in some sort of a computer simulation or some sort of a spiritual world, I'm not sure exactly, but who can be sure of the nature of this place? But it's okay for Musk and all these other physicists to say it, but not me. Check out the double slit experiment, the Heisenberg principle, etc., etc. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff here, but I guess I'm just saying, like, things are screwed up here. Things are screwed up here. People shouldn't. People are being driven. I mean, do you have any idea? Like, just every little bitty thing that's really heavily affecting our society and people in it. It's all being kind of scripted out and intentionally pulled off, and most people are oblivious. Most the ones that aren't oblivious are scattered about, and a sense of powerlessness really to do anything about it. It's just what can you do? I mean, it's one thing to be, if there's like millions of people standing up or something, but shit. I mean, look what's going on here. Look. You got Mr. Gates of Hell with the Jabberwocky and all the other weird crap, and if that goes south, then well, how's that gonna look? A lot of reoccurring uses of the word suddenly seem to appear everywhere. Suddenly, and then I mean, it's just you have all this weird, crazy, like satanic looking frickin' shows being put on, and all this forced perversion shoved in our faces and things everywhere. It's so many distractions. Oh, we're supposed to look over here at the balloon, everybody. Look over here, there's a balloon. Look, everybody, it's a balloon. Look, a shiny balloon, everybody. Look at the balloon. Okay, everybody, look at the balloon. Look at the balloon. Keep looking. Keep looking at the balloon. Don't look at what I'm doing. Look at the balloon. Right? Or this, that, and the other. Just there's so many things like that just go on constantly. Just distractions and crazy shit. Then you got World War III, right? Oh, that sounds cool, boy. World War III. Good times, huh? Right? That's people. Yeah, let's just. But hey, let's just forget about that, man. We can. World War III. I mean, I'm sure that the super old equipment that's been in the freaking desert on active duty for the last, over 20 years, and the old, the skilled soldiers that are all in their 30s or 40s or something, or older by now. But don't worry, I'm sure the new crop of, hair-dyed feminists and many genders that accompany will stave off any sort of incoming attacks from foreign aggression. I mean, I'm sure we'll be fine, right? What could possibly go wrong? I mean, we've got such glorious, brilliant people in leadership positions that clearly want the best for everyone here in America, So, nothing to worry about. And it's kind of the same in all the, the other countries too, right? They all just have such great leadership that really cares about the well-being of their citizens, and clearly, wants us all to succeed and have happy lives and prosperity because they care about us so very much. I'm really grateful for that, aren't you? Well, alright then. I guess I'll just get off of here now.